Week 2 maintenance on Mounjaro. Hi, my name is Kerry and this is my Mounjaro journey. So if you haven't been here before, I have been on this GLP Mounjaro weight loss journey since October 2024. In fact, I've been on the weight loss journey since April 2024, but I took up Mounjaro in October 2024. I'm currently on the 7.5 milligram pen dose, should I say, as well. And I was thinking of tapering down, but I don't know if I will do. I have decided to stay on the 7.5, especially during this busy period of December when it is like a food festival on steroids here in the UK. So I've definitely decided to stay on that. I'm pretty glad that I have, because I have found it quite tough. And I think I found it quite tough because in April 2024, I suddenly stopped eating chocolate as well. I'd stopped drinking hot chocolate. I'd stopped eating chocolate in every shape or form. I wasn't even having it on the sprinkles, you know, when you go for a cappuccino or anything like that. I just purely stopped it. And then slowly but surely I've started to reintroduce it. And then this, like since 2 weeks ago, I've been having a quality street or 2 quality streets a day and a Tim Tam a day. And I've been having hot chocolate with cream and marshmallows, and that is reflecting. It is reflecting. It's not a good reflection, but it certainly is reflecting. But I am trying not to be too strict with myself, because I think, well, it is December, it is the season, it's Christmas is coming up. In fact, I'm filming this on December the 23rd, and Christmas Day is 2 days away. So I'm not going to be worried. I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to get angry at myself either, because as soon as that's over with, you know, Saturday the 27th, we've had Boxing Day on the 26th. Saturday the 27th is a whole new week. I haven't got many presents from people, and the people that I know that I've got presents from have not bought me any sweets, chocolates or biscuits, because they know I've been on this weight loss journey. So, yeah, I am not concerned, because I think I'll just restart again on the 27th of December. I'm not waiting until New Year. I'm not really a person that is into resolutions, because how many people keep them? I'm into goals. I think goals are totally different. And you can set goals at any time of the year as well. And I'm also into manifesting. So I do our budget twice a month, where I go through what we spend, what we need to spend, what we need to save, all that sort of things, write it all down. And I usually write it down in little notebooks, and I've got a huge collection of these notebooks. And previously I'd used one as writing down what I'm grateful for. And part of doing manifestation is saying that you are grateful for things that you want, but grateful that you've already got those things that you want. And out of the 10 things that I was listing, I've got all of those this year. And I wrote all them down 8 years ago. And one of them was, I am thankful that I've got my ideal body. I've got my ideal body. I am thankful that I have got my health back. My health is back. I'm no longer on medication for high blood pressure or cholesterol. So those were 2 of the main ones that I was concerned about. The other ones I was grateful for my family, which I've still got. I'm still very grateful for that. And there was other things like grateful for a lovely car, grateful that, you know, what I do in my life, business-wise and things, was going right and is going right, touch wood. And that is powerful. So I was looking at that and thinking, I need to start doing that again. I need to, even though like when I go to bed, I usually go through and say, I'm thankful for whatever I'm thankful for that day. I don't write it down like I used to do. And writing things down is very powerful. You know, when you're tracking things, writing that down. So I'm going to restart that. So I am going to do some resolutions, which aren't resolutions, they're goals, and I'm not necessarily going to just start them in January. So yeah, so I've got a couple. One of them is I'm going to stop eating chocolate again, because that was a nasty path to go down. So I'm going to stop that again. I'm going to see how well I cope with that. And then the other one, write down what I'm grateful for every day, and make sure I write it down every day. Those are the two major ones. And the third one is, this month I have struggled to do my exercise, mainly because the weather has been quite foul in that it's rained and chucked it down, and we usually go walking every day at least for half an hour. And I also paused my gym membership because I needed to save some money and things like that with moving in the new year. So I need to look at bringing that back in, bringing a exercise program back in and doing it and sticking to it. So that's another, but I'm not going to start that until after we've moved, and we're not moving until mid-January. So I'll probably start that end of January, and then maybe the gyms are back to being quiet again when people who started the gym in January have given up. So we'll see how that goes. As far as maintenance this week's been, it's been tough in, like I say, that I've given in to snacks. I've had hot chocolate, I've had 2 lots of quality streets a day, I've had Tim Tams, which is another thing that I'll have to give up if I'm giving up chocolate. And then Chris, I've had 2 packets of Pom Bears, and I also went to the cinema and watched SpongeBob SquarePants. It was good. But at the cinema, I had a medium popcorn, which is 475 calories. So, not good. Also, I bought a couple of treats for this Christmas period. Not many. Wouldn't, like in the past, if I was at home for Christmas, I would have bought a hell of a lot more treats. And like, when are you going to eat all of those? So in that, my mindset's changed in that I'm not going to have that. Now, last year I had a pretty good Christmas as far as Mounjaro was concerned. I'd had 3 weeks where I didn't take Mounjaro because I was ill. I'd had low sodium levels and gastroenteritis. So I just didn't feel well anyway. So I wasn't that bothered about the food that was around me because I didn't feel really well. And I'd worked too damn hard, that's what I said, to give it in and give in to mince pies and give in to all the treats. So I didn't have those. And then when I did take my jab, we went away over the Christmas week to Spain, to a Spanish hotel that wasn't doing British food. It was doing really nice Spanish meals and that, but no British food. So there was none of that British temptation of the Christmas treats of mince pies and Yuletide logs and ginger puddings and Christmas puddings. There was none of that. So yeah, and I haven't bought any of that this year. I've had 2 mince pies in the whole of December. So, and then last year I didn't have any. So that's the difference. I have allowed snacking to get in, which is okay, I suppose, in small doses, but I'm allowing too much of it. So my first 2 weeks of maintenance is not where it should be. But again, it's Christmas season, so I'm not going to hold myself prisoner to that. I'm going to restart basically on the 27th of December and then take it from there and try and keep, because non-scale victories this week has been getting into size 10 pair of trousers, formal trousers. I needed some formal black trousers because I haven't got any. I used to have loads. They are all gone. They've been given away, to people that were size 18 and could get into those trousers. So they've all been given away. And I didn't bother replacing them because I work from home, I work for myself, and I don't really need to be getting dressed up, even though in January I'll be going out and working in a co-working space rather than working from home because of the change of us moving in the middle of January, a temporary move. But it requires that I've been working in Sheffield rather than working where we're going to be living, which is the Doncaster basically. So yeah, so that's going to be a change. But I don't need to get dressed up because I'm not meeting anybody there. It's just, obviously I'll look nice and neat and tidy and clean and all that, but I don't need to be in a suit or formal clothes. But I do actually need some formal trousers in case you need to go anywhere. And that was the case. I thought, Christmas is coming, Christmas Day. I had planned on wearing a skirt, but the weather's not going to be very warm, and we are walking to where we're having Christmas dinner. So I thought, let me get some trousers. So off we went to Peacock's today. Tried the size 12 on, and they were too big, especially on the thigh and around the waist. So I thought, no, definitely going to try the size 10. Try the size 10 on, fit perfect. They were beautiful. So 2 pairs of size 10 trousers have come home with me. So I need to make sure that from the 27th of December, I keep wanting to say February, I don't know why, but December, I need to make sure that I stop with the hot chocolates, I stop with the quality streets, I stop with the Tim Tams, and get back to making sure I get my protein levels in and making sure that I am following more of a low-calorie diet. Well, not really. I've got to maintain that calorie intake rather than lower it, because I don't want to go any lower than 9 stone 6. Now, yes, I'm talking about this because this week, my weight this week's been up and down. It's been like this, and I'll show you the Shotzi app, which will appear that side, I think. It might be that side, I don't know. It'll be like one of these sides. It'll come up and it'll show you my week basically with regards to both, well, all 3 pounds, stones and kilograms. And it has gone down and it has gone back up, and it's gone down and then it's gone back up. And the reason it's gone up is because I'm giving in to those treats, which is okay over this week, last week and this week. So next week it'll probably be again, which I'm fine with because Christmas has been, and I have decided that I'm not going to be that strict on myself. Have I taken the jab? Yes, I have. I've taken my jab. That should help the greediness. That should pause the greediness, which will help. And I'm on 7.5 milligrams. Now, I had said that when I was going to maintain, I was going to taper down, hopefully down to 2.5. But I think at the moment I'm going to stay on the 7.5, see how that goes, and then go back down to the 5 milligrams, see how that goes. And then if that goes okay, go down to the 2.5. But I won't be coming off because that helps me with not having to take hypertension tablets, not having to take statins for cholesterol. So I know that this has got to be long term. And I also know that, I've got plans. My godson's wedding's coming up in 2027. I need to make sure I'm in a nice size 10, 12 outfit for that. So that is the plan. So I'm going to tell you about my weight. And like I say, it's been up and down. So today, and we're going with today's weight. So I started out at 100 kilograms. Last week I was 61.1 kilograms. Now I'm aiming to be 60 kilograms. That's where I should be. And today I was 61.3 kilograms. So I've put 0.2 kilograms on. And actually that weight, that gain has been today. Now yesterday, like I say, I had 2 quality streets, a Tim Tam, a Pom Bear. Did I have a hot chocolate? No, I didn't. I didn't have a hot chocolate yesterday. And I also had popcorn from the cinema. So, yeah, that's where the weight is. Probably all the salt in the popcorn because it was salted popcorn. Then in stones, 15 stone, 10 pound, 10.4 pound I started. Last week I was 9 stone 8.7, and today 9 stone 9.1. So that was a gain of 0.4 pound. I started at 220 pounds. Last week 134.7, and this week 135.1. So again, 0.4 pound. It's not much, but it's not good. It's a slippery slope, so I need to turn that round, and I certainly will from the 27th. It won't be this week, because this week's Christmas, and this week's about not being that strict with yourself, and not being upset about it either. So yes, a different change, I think. And basically I need to try and get myself to stay at 9 stone 6, because that is my maintenance, that is my goal. So yes, I'm only 3.1 pound above that. It's nothing to worry about. You know, in the Shotzi app, it's like says within 5 pounds of your goal, you're still in goal. So according to Shotzi, I'm okay. And so that'll get turned around, not next week when I come on and say next week how it's gone. It'll be the week after, when I've gone, right, 27th of December, I've stopped with the chocolate, which is the first thing I'm going to do. So I hope you have a wonderful, if you celebrate it, Christmas or any holidays that you celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful time. I hope you can mix nicely with your family, and that Santa or whoever brings you some lovely presents, and that you don't beat yourself up about if you gain any weight or anything, because it's a week. It's a few days, really. That's all it is. So don't beat yourself up about it. And I certainly do not intend to do that. I intend to enjoy my Christmas. Yes, I did take my jab, but I'm not suffering suppression like I did in the beginning. So, yeah. I'll love you and leave you. See you next week. Bye.